Before we start off this episode of Insert Title here, we need to start on a solemn note. Everyone remember that the awful event occurs tonight. We spring forward an hour. That's right. We jump forward an hour tonight.
We lose an hour of sleep.
Yes, we do. But welcome, everyone, to this episode of Insert Title here. Right. Joining me this evening is my fill-in co-host of Tiny But Fierce. Tiny, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing all right. Happy to be here. Happy to have made it. Had a bit of a fun but hard week, so I'm ready to have a free-for-all and hang out with my guy friends. Yay!
So how is the 50s?
I love the 50s. Actually, I did not love
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? I wish we could go back to the 50s.
I wouldn't mind the 50s if the 50s actually were what Pleasantville was, but it wasn't. And I'm female, so there were some states in this country that you still couldn't open a bank account without a male cosigner up until 1974. So I'm
fan of the aesthetic, not fan of the actual time period. Got it.
There you go.
All right. Also joining us this evening is Full Metal Nate, the critic. You should put it not just critic. You should put it as the critic.
The critic.
The critic. That's why on Iron Show I go by Mr. Producer.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I could actually change that. It's Full Metal Nate and then just the critic.
There you go.
How you doing this evening?
I'm doing all right. I've spent the entire day basically just cleaning around the tiny house, and I've finally got my Christmas tree put up. So I've got
put away.
Yes, put away. So I got a big blank spot in my house that's basically just naked and empty. So I need to figure out what I'm gonna put there.
And how are you doing this evening, Emerald?
I didn't do a whole lot today. I'm still converting. For the third time, I'm converting my DVD collection. This time, I'm actually doing it in the correct format to keep chapters, all the subtitles, and that is called an MKV file. That actually preserves the entire thing, where I was just doing it as MP4s. MP4s lock. There's no subtitles. There's only one type of audio you can't switch between, and you lose chapter markers. So
did not know that.
I'm doing it again. Currently, I am working on converting Mad Men. The
Never
Blu-ray version.
Heard really good things about Mad Men, but kind of like Tiny, I've never seen it personally.
Well, if you're a fan of John Hamm, you're gonna like this series.
I do like John Hamm.
Yeah, he's the lead.
Well,
and the
I like
show
him as an
really
actor.
kind of focuses on him, and his character.
Okay.
Cool.
I will definitely.
And it's 1960s. It goes through the entire 1960s.
It's Madison Avenue, right?
Yep, Madison Avenue. They're advertising.
Yep. Yeah, the biggest marketing firms and advertising firms in the country, if not in the world, in the 60s, were on Madison Avenue in Manhattan.
Yep. Well, let's
Actually,
go through.
Now you would just have high-end jewelry stores where they used to be.
Yeah. So let's say hi to the chat. We got first in Mr. Beak. How you doing, sir?
Mr.
Got
Beak.
got
Sorry.
Thanos Jerry. Hail, Sir Drunken Emerald Arrow. Greetings from the Shit Lord poster. Sith Lord poster. I can't read.
The Sith Lord poet.
Sith Lord poet.
That is a metal ass name. I like that.
Yeah. Vagabond, he will be here after he gets done with anime for the homies.
Is that a new show he's got, or is?
No, it's another. I can't remember who the host of that one is.
Oh, it's
Signal
just it's just a show he's guesting on. Gotcha.
Yeah, he's on every about almost every Saturday. He usually does anime for the homies.
Okay.
Got Mr. Scott Awesome in the chat. Let's see
Hey,
who
bro.
else. We got Real Wade Nation Gaming Recap. How you doing, Wade? And that is it at the moment.
No dark.
All right. So we're going to start off. We're going to start off with a conspiracy theory that I ran across. And I image comparison back to each other is leaving me kind of going, you want to know what? There may be some truth to this. And I had kind of taken it off the screen. Let me pull it back up. Okay. I got to stop the video because it gives it away. And I'm going to have to mute it. All right. Okay. So, because so here we are. This one I think is quite interesting. So once you see it, you can't unsee it. Who really was Rush Limbaugh? Rush Limbaugh suddenly gained significant attention in 1984 as a talk radio host on KFBK in Sacramento, California. Jim Morrison, the iconic lead singer of The Doors, supposedly died in Paris on July 3rd, 1971 at the age of 27, with the official cause listed as heart failure. His body supposedly discovered in the bathtub. No autopsy performed, fueling all kinds of speculations. Witness protection? You tell me.
Let's go. No way.
Let's go. Yo.
Nah.
No way.
Nah.
Damn.
Nah.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
shit.
One of my good friends growing up, her mom was an editor for him. She'd have been flipping out if he was Jim Morrison.
I don't know. Damn.
That's
pretty damn spooky. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, that I have to say that I ran across this. I'm like,
I don't know, guys.
You even look at it. I mean, the chin.
But their voices weren't
put on a little
all.
weight. So yes, he's a little bit chubbier because he did put on weight. Eye shape is almost dead on. Eyebrows are almost still dead on.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I was better off going back to Raccoon City tonight.
But their voices are so different. So different.
Yeah, true. But witness protection, they may have coached him on how to change his voice is. And people are usually different and change for radio. And he just continued that radio voice on into his real life instead of reverting back to his old voice. Yeah, okay.
I'm not sure the cheekbones are actually the same, but you can actually change your cheekbones. Not that hard. Great. Now I'm gonna have this stuck in my head. Thanks, Emerald.
So
Damn.
Wade says he calls bull crap. And let's
Also, just
see.
think about.
There are no picture from. Yes, that's true too. There are no. I don't know because that's not what they were comparing it to. I don't know if they compared it to a younger Rush. Thanos brings up the hair color is off. That could come with age too.
The easiest of all the things to change.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm sorry, Jim Morrison, isn't he the one who called himself a golden god? Like, he was so into being the rock star. It was so much of who he was and what he was and everything. It's hard to believe that he would disappear for 10 years and then come back as a completely different type of person.
I mean, stranger things have happened.
Yeah. Truth is stranger than fiction a lot of times, but...
Now, do I actually believe that this is the case? No, I honestly don't. But
I mean, but here's the thing. You're right. It's always fun to speculate about this kind of stuff, but
I mean, at least even older Rush Limbaugh looks a lot more like Jim Morrison than young Jim Carrey looks like old Jim Carrey. Just saying.
I was gonna say, I mean, since I brought it up before we went live, we might as well talk about Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, I'm more inclined to honestly believe that Rush Limbaugh is actually Jim Morrison than I am that young Jim Carrey. Old Jim Carrey is young Jim Carrey, and it's the same person at this point, based on everything we've seen recently.
I thought he had plastic surgery damage. Jim Carrey.
Yeah, that's what they're kind of saying.
Okay.
But it's just very odd.
Oh, it was Led Zeppelin, not the Doors. Thank you, Jerry.
Robert Plant is from Led Zeppelin. Called himself the Lizard God. Jim called himself the Lizard King. Oh, that fits even more. Someone page Alex Jones.
Lizard people.
See, that adds more credence and evidence to the fact that this is Rush Limbaugh was Jim Morrison.
It's crazy how the internet used to just make fun of Alex Jones, and now all of a sudden we're living in a reality where everybody's like, you know what? Maybe that guy was right about everything.
Well, you want to talk about conspiracy theories or fucked up shit? One of the original researchers from CERN has come out and said, when we turned on the Super Hadron Collider, we jumped in reality. This is not the same timeline we were on before CERN turned on.
Tiny, please don't break my brain tonight.
No, that's why if you notice, they turned on they turned on that collider.
Yep.
And everything changed. In the sense instead of getting Hillary, which was the obvious was going to happen, Trump gets into office. All of the nutty stuff that started happening with protesting and everything else has happened right at that same time. Where it seemed like the division between everyone got even wider, started happening right at that point.
Well, they've turned it on a couple times
of trans and forcing it on everyone. That and this entire push for IDs for everything. At this point, I'm almost to the point of Fringe. You want to know what? Bring on the show me's. Anyone that's seen Fringe will know the reference.
I didn't. Sorry.
Essentially, it's a national ID. Get rid of the state IDs, and everyone just has a national ID.
I just call that the mark of the beast. I'm good.
No, you take it out of the hands of the state. Only the government can issue an ID.
Only the federal government.
Only the federal government.
Well, I mean, they have federal issued IDs, and they're connected to social credit scores and all sorts of other shit in China.
Right. Well, Nate, keep this in mind too.
It can be done badly. I'm just admitting it can be done badly.
Right. it could go badly. But again, Nate, keep in mind who issues passports.
Federal government.
Yeah,
Federal government.
Federal government.
That is a federal ID.
Oh man, I didn't know my brain was going to be getting melted tonight by joining this show.
Sorry.
It's either
Hey,
melting or expanding. It's like too much information.
So we actually have a submission
I didn't submit.
from Mr. Scott Awesome.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
So soon
so
after
wrong.
destroying Iran's Ayatollah
Ayatollah.
regime, Trump will give Secretary Marco Rubio another job. The King of Persia.
That was the dumbest costuming and makeup job ever.
What the fuck?
I was one of the parts of 300 I hated the absolute most. Was the idiocy of what they did to one of the greatest kings in ancient history. But he doesn't have time to be king of Persia. He's gonna go take over Cuba. Besides, Pahlavi's come back, so we already have a king of Persia.
Yeah, that's true because right now the island of Cuba is in revolt. Not being
Yep.
really talked about, but it's happening.
Yep.
Well, they cut off all the oil that was going to them has been cut off.
Yep.
Gee,
And that was
it's
the
almost-
only thing keeping the government in control.
Yep.
Well, yeah, it's almost like everything happening in the world right now is just a giant distraction.
I can't get over how bad that was.
They're hiding the aliens. All of this other stuff is
But
the
they're not
fact that
hiding
there
the
are
aliens.
aliens.
They're talking about aliens. Not to mention the amount of people who I've seen say, I didn't believe in aliens till the government said, or I believed in aliens till the government said they exist. Now I don't believe in them anymore.
They're finishing turning the frogs gay. There you go.
In other words, you're saying just another Alex Jones prediction come to fruition. Got it.
Yep.
I mean, it's true. I mean,
Some of them, I sort of understood what he was talking about, but there are multiple species of frogs that literally, if there's not enough of the opposite sex to do reproduction well for the species, they can literally switch. Humans cannot do this. Mammals cannot do this, but amphibians can actually switch their sex.
You
Whatever
watch
you do,
too much
don't-
Jurassic Park.
No. No, I watch way too much Animal Planet.
It's the same thing. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, you should even. Okay, so what is interesting to find out what the plan actually was for Jurassic Park 4 before it became Jurassic World.
What was the plan?
Well, InGen was going to be continuing their genetic profile, genetic adjustments and stuff like that. So they kind of did it with
Oh, wait, I
essentially
think I remember
making new
this.
dinosaurs, but they ended up being bipedal and looking more like human.
I think there was
That was
concept
kind
art
of what
that
they were. That's what they were going
Yeah.
to do with
Oh,
Jurassic
wow.
Park, a merging of the man and dinosaur.
But you know why
Yeah,
they
but-
can't do that? Because then the lizard people get upset because we look like the lizard people and they don't want to be represented right now.
that in your movie would have made no money at the box office. Because
So from Jerry, so bisexuals came from frogs.
yep, seems legit.
Well, it's just like it's one of the things that made me so mad with the trans thing is because there are some species that can sort of do that in nature. Not a single one of them is mammalian. So if you're
should-
human, you're a mammal. You can't fucking do that. Whatever. When I first got sick, I had so much time on my hands and nothing to do but sit there and be in pain. So I watched Animal Planet, National Geographic, and at least 2 other of the super sciencey animal channels like 24/7 for freaking half a year.
Damn.
Okay, so did find an old video proving that Trump is not good at everything. He's not the best.
He's not the best at everything. He's not even the best at
Right.
most things. He's just very good at some things.
I ran across this kind of humorous just to see him to interact and attempt something.
Gentle, Donald. Slowly. Okay. That's good.
How much you want for your pot? 500. 600.
Introducing Cozone.com, the place to find computer help and buy what's right for you.
Hey.
Pay yourself.
Cozone.com. We can.
Oh my God. That is such a 90s commercial. That is such a 90s commercial.
Yeah.
Oh my good God.
I don't even know. What to say to that.
90s.
How much you want for your pot?
I mean, it was
before.
before.
I'll give you
I mean, it was before.
for that.
It was clearly before the internet bubble burst. Clearly,
Yeah.
but I would say probably 99, 2000. Probably is when this came out.
No, I think it might have even been earlier than that. Maybe even 98.
It could have been 98.
It felt like when I first entered high school.
Let's see. Okay, so everyone's familiar with Windows, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Windows, yeah. Tell me
Evil.
it's not a downgrade. We haven't gotten like downgraded in graphics. It's gotten worse. Now I've dropped Windows.
Yep.
I am completely Linux and Mac OS. And that was the Mac OS is just because I needed to be able to do certain things with editing software that I just could not fully getting work on Linux. Otherwise, my daily driver is Linux. But let me pull this up.
Yeah.
So on the left is Windows 11. Yeah,
No.
I mean, on the left is Windows 7. On the right is Windows 11. Windows 7 looks so much better.
Or
As
at
an
the very
image.
least, Windows doesn't look like it's improved in Windows 11 doesn't look like it's improved in any way, shape, or form.
It feels like a downgrade.
Kind of.
Next up, video.
Yeah.
You will own nothing and be happy about it.
The Windows. Now, they're similar, but I still like the look of Windows 7 compared to 11.
Mm-hmm.
In this particular aspect, it doesn't bother me either way. But yeah.
And then the file folders.
And getting through the file folders and finding things that you've put away and stuff was just so much easier. I have somehow lost something like 200 photos. I don't know where they went. I don't know how they got to wherever they went. But I downloaded them onto the computer. I could see them. And then I came back and I can't find them anymore. I hate Windows 11.
When the thing is I'm like a year behind finding out everything that Windows was doing. No, not really paying attention. And come January, right at the beginning of January is when I started running across all this stuff about what Windows was doing. And then it started to click in my head when I was seeing what I was seeing. And I'm like, well, this is the time to make the switch. But then we have the California law that goes into effect, and that's going to fuck everyone over too.
Why are they going to make you switch back to Windows?
No, their age verification on an OS. You go into on your computer. In your OS, you have to verify your age on your own system because of the operating system, because of California. And Colorado is trying to push it through. I think we're down to 6 days, and operating systems have to have it in place for Brazil.
Why can't California just fall into the ocean?
Hey!
Get out of there, Tiny.
Oops, I said a comment and forgot that one of the people on the panel lives there.
Well, in Tiny's defense, when I think of people who live in California, Tiny does not come to mind. So
Because she's a New Yorker.
it's because she's an actual rational thinking human being.
Well, that too.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
No,
If I can guarantee the same level of medical and the same actually get the medications that I need,
Yeah.
I would not be here.
Yeah. Age
Verification
okay,
required
so-
for the fucking calculator.
Because the law is so written so badly that
Yeah.
it says any operating system that can interact with an like an app store. So it means your phone, it means computers. If you have a smart fridge from Samsung that has apps, you have to log your age into your phone. It is so poorly written.
If you get a fridge
HP has a computer, has a calculator. This is where this kind of joking comes from. HP has a calculator that is simulating an older thing, but it does have access to apps and all this stuff. It's a different company that's simulating it. They've already come out and said January 1st, no longer going to be available in California.
What?
Midnight BSD, which is Berkeley. It is a Linux that was created in Berkeley, California, is putting their foot down to California and saying January 1st, we're no longer available in California.
Wait, the January 1st that just passed or the next one coming up?
Coming up, 27.
27. Got it. Okay.
That
But
is
okay,
crazy.
so but if your IP address or whatever, if you're not in California, do you still have to go through all that shit?
Well, keep in mind, this is what happens with California and their policies that are insane, is that it ends up filtering through the entire country. Why? Because it's easier just to do it for to make the requirements that one state's asking for and just apply to everyone else instead of having two different products.
This world is going to hell in a handbasket.
California, I don't understand why in any way, shape, or form the country would still follow California in anything when we are unbelievably broken and just getting worse and worse. And we have $6 gas and $7 gas. And after the first week in April, we're going to likely have $10 to $12 gas.
Yeah. Here in Washington, in my area, and we're on the east, and I'm on the east side of the state, we're over $4 a gallon.
Yeah, we just went back up to like $3.09. I mean, ever since that stuff in Iran popped off, we've gone up like $1.
Ours is high because of state gas tax, because of Green New Deal policy crap for carbon emissions.
Oh, and Newsom just let our gas tax elapse. He and Sacramento were supposed to continue it because of all the stuff going on, and he just forgot. So the gas tax is back.
And people really want that clown ass to run for president in 2028. I swear to
He
God.
is leading the
San
field.
Francisco. He destroyed San Francisco, and then he destroyed the whole rest of the fucking state.
But this law, I mean, like I said, Colorado's already trying to get it passed through. What is worse about it? It's being approved bipartisan, Republicans and Democrats. It was zero opposition to this bill in California.
There are
Because-
almost no Republicans in California state office. though.
True, but how do you think they're framing this?
Protection of the children.
Yep.
Yep, it always comes back to the children.
Okay,
The
then
children are our
mandatory, then
future.
make it then make it mandatory to create stronger parental controls. Stop again, this is the whole point, that government is not supposed to be the parents. Government's not supposed to be the ones that are controlling our lives and telling us what we can and cannot do. Not in this country.
Well, try telling that to parents that actually don't want to do their job and parent their kids.
I
They'd rather-
have just been given a request from the Peanut Gallery that with the California jungle primary coming up, will all the Christians watching please pray pray we get 2 Republicans at the end of it. And
I'm glad you
please,
bring that up, Tiny.
please.
Tiny, I'm glad you bring that up because
Uh-oh.
the way that they do ranked choice voting, non-bi-party, in California, there is a strong, at this point, based on polling, a strong possibility because the primary happens and the top 2 vote getters move on to the general. And at this point, the field is being led by 2 Republicans. So there is a possibility because of what California did.
Oh, it's so much better than that. The Dems had like 10 people running for this jungle thing.
They're diluting.
No. And they were diluting and they were getting very upset. So the Democratic Party came down and stepped on 4 or 5 of them and said, you have to pull out to support the others. But you understand that the Democrat Party in California made the black man, the 2 Hispanics, and the Asian woman drop out, and they left the 3 white men.
And at this point, with the way this is, it is a strong possibility because I saw this on Friday that, Californians may be picking their governor from either the Republican Party or the Republican Party.
Now, I'll admit it. Some California Republicans are not Republicans. Or at least they're not MAGA.
I mean,
but it's better than having nothing but Democrat control. You want to see what it looks like, what their perfect socialist utopia looks like? That's San Francisco. That's LA.
See, this is the problem too in Washington State when it comes to local politics. There is no party affiliation when it comes to state politics. When it comes to a lot of the stuff in the state. So even like our mayor and stuff is non-party. But even though it's like for the city that I live in, both were left-leaning. One kept failing at her attempt to get the seat in Congress. I mean, seat in the House. She kept losing because this side of the state is right. So we kept getting a Republican representative for us here in the state of Washington. She kept running against her and kept losing. Now she's our mayor. And guess what? The city's continuing to turn to shit. Before that, we had a freaking news broadcaster as mayor.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean they'd be shitty. There are some news broadcasters that don't just read teleprompters. They actually have some brains. I mean, at least there used to be.
Yeah, except for she bent the knee when it came to like BLM and all this other crap. So like I said, it really doesn't matter. One thing too is in my town, it is very well known that mayors in this town never get a second term. The mayors have not gotten second terms in this city for a very long time.
So you should run for mayor. Clean it all up and then walk away.
Fuck no. I want nothing to. You want to know what? I want to respect myself at the end of the day.
He doesn't want to look like he aged 10 years in the amount of time it would take him to do that. Job.
Well, and on top of that, it doesn't matter because it also comes down to city councils. So, I mean, granted, Mandani or Mandummy, as I've also heard him being called.
Ooh, I like that one better.
He's trying to do these things and do all of his communist things, and guess who's stopping him?
The city council.
Surprisingly, Hochul and the city council are telling him pack sand.
It shouldn't surprise you that Hochul's doing it because Hochul already did this. She did it twice. She said, if you don't want to be vaxxed and you don't want to wear a mask, get the hell out of New York. We don't need you. And then she lost a huge chunk of the voting block. And then she said, we're going to tax the billionaires to make up for everything that happened during COVID. And she lost a huge chunk of the tax base. And she had to come back and go, come back to New York. We love you. We miss you. You didn't understand what we meant by that. Oh no, please come back. Like she has spent the last 2 years begging people to return to the state of New York. So she knows if Mandami goes through with what he wants to go through with in New York City, the largest tax base in the state is going to fucking up and disappear. That's why she's
Mhm.
blocking him. She's not blocking him because she doesn't agree with him. She's blocking him because she's already fucked up so badly doing this once already.
And it's not the only city that's going through this. Mayor Johnson over there in Chicago is going through the same thing. He's trying to raise
They lost
property
the
taxes.
Bears!
Yep,
They lost
they're-
the fucking Chicago Bears.
Yep. It looks like they're going to be moving to Indiana. They're going to be the Indiana Bears.
I
Yep.
think I read a story about that. And guess what? Immediately after they left, they were all called racist and bigoted and homophobic.
I don't think the announcements they haven't left yet. There's 2 locations they could go to, but they're out of
okay.
Chicago.
Yeah, but they're out of
Yeah.
Chicago.
One is in
Because it's too fucking dangerous.
yeah. Well, it's not just the danger side of it, it's the taxes.
Yeah, that too.
This is the same thing what's happening with Seattle. They have an athlete's tax that all the players in the Seahawks, when they won the Super Bowl, no, they did. Yeah, they did. No, did they win the Super Bowl?
Seahawks
Who won
won.
the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Seahawks.
Yeah.
Okay. That big payday, a bulk of it had to go to state taxes in Seattle.
Right. I remember hearing something about that.
It's an athlete's tax.
Starbucks
On
is
top
leaving.
of that, yes, I was going to get to that. Starbucks is leaving, but also with the Seahawks is the fact that property taxes are so high they can't run a business. It's like Seattle's going to lose the Seahawks come the end of their contracted time there at that stadium, because they just I don't know when they re-upped the last time, but when it comes to, I have a feeling Seahawks are going to leave. The city was trying to get the Supersonics back, the basketball team. They're not going to now because of all the taxes that they're put, and at the athlete tax. They just recently got a professional NHL team. How long is that going to last with all this stuff?
Do you guys remember when we used to throw boxes of tea into a harbor to protest this shit?
A 3% tax on tea.
3% on tea.
Yep.
So it's just one item.
And
So Tiny
It-
brings up,
yeah.
you brought up Starbucks.
Yep.
Right. Now, they haven't officially announced that they're leaving, but they opened a new southeastern headquarters in Tennessee.
Yep.
No company has 2 headquarters in the same country. They're leaving.
It's the specifically the corporate headquarters.
It's the corporate headquarters. They're leaving Seattle.
Yep.
They may not be outright saying it right now, but I guess internally some people have come out that are inside, have been told you can make the move or you can stay in Seattle, but we can't guarantee that they're going to have a job in the next few years if they don't make the move. They've shut down their corporate tasting room downtown. Their main location, their big, yep, that's now closed. Also in the chat, hail Emily, welcome.
They brought it on themselves.
So yeah, Boeing,
Hi, Emily.
Boeing left.
Yep.
That was a big one. And you want to know what? At the time, it was Governor Jay Inslee. And you want to know his response was? Don't worry, they're going to come back. They're going to come crawling back to us. No, they're not. Boeing's already having rough times.
Yeah.
And then to get all this stuff. Guess who? So you have like 2 more major companies that potentially could, actually 3, that could be making their exits here in the next couple of years out of the state, out of the Seattle, Redmond area. Microsoft, Nintendo, and Amazon.
Yep.
Because the city and state keep overspending. Our governor currently just passed the biggest tax increase on everything because we don't have a state income tax. So they raise taxes on everything, property to sin tax to sales tax, anything that can be that's already in place for tax, they've raised it. The budgeting office came out after they raised the taxes, and guess what they said?
Still in deficit.
You're still in deficit even after all the tax increases. Now they're trying to do a millionaire's tax as a back door to put a state income tax in, which through normal means has to be brought to the voters. And every single time they brought up a state income tax to the voters who have to approve it, it's voted down every time.
Well,
They
yeah,
found the back door.
Well, yeah, because no sensible person is just going to vote for more taxes. Like,
not going to vote for more taxes or anything to say, if you approve a state income tax, we will cut the taxes on this, and this, and we are going to bring it right back down.
Like
That
I
might
don't
be enough of a trade-off that maybe citizens would be a little bit more willing to get on board, wrongly, because the thing says that they can't turn around and jack those taxes back up in the next decade.
Yeah.
But you could at least convince some additional people to sign on to an income tax if you promise to lower all the other taxes that they put to do that.
Yeah, like I don't even like paying the taxes that I already have to pay. Like, why in the world would I vote for more?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why they can never get it passed.
Because
And of course,
you're supposed to vote for them, Nate, because you have a good heart and you're an open, caring person who wants to take care of the poor and the helpless and the homeless and all those people that need help.
Oh, well, they can fuck right off.
we already have so much safety net stuff in this country that, and a lot of the thing is that a lot of the deficit that's happening both in California here and here in the state of Washington have to do with green policies.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Illegals.
Green policies and safety nets designed specifically and set up specifically for American citizens being used for illegals. Those two things together can destroy almost any fucking economy.
Yeah.
Not
And
to
my mom,
mention, even some of the stuff. Okay, like the head of Greenpeace came out and said I was fucking wrong. Now he's not persona non grata and everything. But there are even more scientists coming out going, we were wrong. The science, that all of the projections made sense before, but we're getting farther and farther along those projections, and it's not happening the way we thought it was going to happen.
yeah.
It's the planet is greening. The oceans are actually doing better. There's one small part of the coral reef.
You muted.
You muted. You muted, Tiny.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the last thing you heard?
Greening.
Coral reef.
Oh yeah,
Coral
there's a part of the Great Barrier Reef that did white out and die. And that's what they keep always showing you over and over again. But the entire rest of the reef is better than it's been in 30 years. There's more biodiversity. There's more growth. I'm sorry. Their own science has proven they were wrong. And yet they're still pushing these fucking policies that don't help anyone. We got rid of our plastic bags in California, and somehow the plastic pollution went up by 50%. It's crazy.
Yep. Well, and on top of that, you have one company that's here in the state of Washington that just made a whole bunch of e-waste. Microsoft, with Windows 11, they turned fully functioning working computers into obsolete with Windows 11 because of the TPM 2.0 chip. You have to have it in your system.
No idea what that means, but okay.
It has to do with data security.
Okay.
You have to have that chip to be able to upgrade to Windows 11. A lot of older computers do not have that, so they're not eligible for Windows 11. Then they killed Windows 10, making it obsolete and making it no longer getting updates, unless you're willing to pay additional fee to get some security patches for a short period of time.
But I've heard there are some people that were so frustrated and angry with this, they've gone back to Windows 7.
People are going back to Windows 7, which is fully unprotected and has been for a long time. People are just sticking with Windows 10. And that's what they're showing right now when it comes to market share. Windows 11 market share was never the greatest to begin with because people weren't adopting it, and it is just continuing to go down. 10 has been steady and kind of going up. 7 has been going up. Windows 8 has been going back up again.
Damn.
So this shows you it's like Windows doesn't, Microsoft, it's just, they're so into this AI stuff and forcing it everyone. Do you realize you have to sign into your OneDrive to be able to use your Microsoft Paint and Notebook? Because there's AI now embedded in Microsoft Paint and the Notepad.
Wow.
That is crazy.
I use AI to help myself. And like my mom's new business where she teaches AI to mostly people over 50, but as she says, the the confused, the clueless, and the tech phobic. That's who she works with. The people who aren't going to understand all this stuff. And I use AI specifically to help with my medical stuff. And it's made an immense person. I see the benefits of AI, but everyone's pushing it before it's ready. It's like taking an infant and saying, here, go win a gold medal at the Olympics.
It's not just that, it's the being forced to adopt
That too, absolutely.
That's what's really turning people off. And on top of that, with Windows 11 specifically, because I'm shitting on them and I intend to for the rest of the time, and I always will, is the fact that their computer is monitoring you all the time and sending data back to Redmond, Washington. Everything about your PC, things you're doing, you go and turn things off, and it is still sending packet information of things you're doing in your system and everything to Microsoft.
Even when it's turned off?
Not when it's turned off.
Oh, okay.
But if you're on, you just have it on, it is constantly sending data to Microsoft.
But so what I had heard was that you could use the security stuff to stop all the data harvesting, but anytime you had an update, then it would turn it all on automatically and you had to go back and turn it all off again.
Yes. You can shut off a lot of the tracking stuff in Windows. If you go through every screen, it takes you about an hour and a half to disable it all. But every time a Windows update happens, it turns it all back on.
Yeah.
A person went through and did all of that, then checked to see what his traffic on it was. It was still sending data out.
Hey, Vagabond.
Hey, good. Hey, Tiny. Hey, everyone. Sorry, I meant the. I didn't mean to be. I didn't know.
Oh no, you're fine.
That's all.
Oh, welcome.
We're bitching about computer shit.
Oh, yeah. I know. I heard Windows 11. I think someone made a program to AI your PC or whatever.
There is a way to strip down Windows 11 to de-bloat it. But the thing is they've embedded so much of Edge into it, which is the AI, also using all of the AI, that people are finding that if they disable and stop Microsoft Edge, it crashes their system. It's completely dependent on Edge.
Jesus.
Which is leading to a lot of speculation about Windows 12.
The one where you have to buy the subscription.
Yes. And it won't even be really installed on your system. It will be virtual. Microsoft's already putting out products that's essentially a streaming computer that you put, it's a little box you connect your peripherals and your monitor, turn it on, and it operates from the cloud completely. Not even on your own system anymore.
They're going to push people to the point where even people who are not techie like me are going to end up going to Linux or Mac or something. This is crazy.
Well, I know there's some people also out there. They're like I am going to be honest. I'm not a Linux person, but there is some people out there. What they're doing is they are finding ways so you can still run stuff on Windows 7 without and just stay on there. And then I'm sure it might be a hassle when, like, hey, one of a program you might be using does an update, and then whatever fixes or whatever you need for that. But to get out of the modern, I do think there's going to be a point to where they're going to have to reverse course, especially once this AI bubble pops. Whenever it does. And again, I'm not against AI. I'm not for it either. I'm just in the middle pretty much with that. But I think
go ahead.
Oh, no, where you go.
I was going to say, AI is good as a tool when you choose to use it. I'm not completely opposed to AI in any kind of way. A lot of people just kind of like, well, you're just against all AI. It's the same. It kind of feels the same way with like anti-vaxxing. I didn't want to take the COVID shot, and I'm suddenly an anti-vaxxer. It's like, no, well, my entire growing up never took a flu shot. My parents never gave me flu shots and stuff like that. I took one flu shot back when I was in the military and never did it again. So in my entire life, I've done one flu shot, never took the COVID shot, but somehow I'm anti-vaxxer. No, I got other vaccines when I was growing up.
Mhm.
It's just the certain ones, but it's the same when it comes to the AI argument, is if you just don't like how they're pushing the AI out and stuff like that, is that you're afraid of it, you hate it, you don't want anything to do it. It's like, no, I think it's a tool. It's a good tool for taking care of certain things. Use that way when I choose to use it.
Well, so many people out there, everything is an extreme. There's no such thing as a middle ground anymore on anything. It's insane.
Yeah, because it's like because I do see the people who think like it's the next bread and butter. But AI is still not really AI. It's just a multi-language search engine or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's agenic AI is that level of AI, but even agenic AI, it's still a baby. Like it's and on top of everything else, one of the biggest problems with AI is it wants to make you happy. It will lie to you to make you happy. It will lie to you to make you to make. It's not everyone acts like it's this wise, amazing thing. It's a very, very, very smart child. It is not.
Well, Grok did lecture me a month or so ago. So I was on a stream I was going to be a guest on the GCA, and normally, I didn't think I had time to do anything in Photoshop, which I normally do, because every single time I'm a guest, they got a thing called Secret Memer, and I usually meme myself and end up winning. So I was gonna have Grok. I gave Grok a picture of me in like the snow, and I told it to put like a woman stepping bare, like a white woman's or Asian woman's foot stepping on watermelon, and like me sucking the toes on it or something. And then Grok's like, no, this is a true story. So Grok said no, I would not do that, and it gave me like a whole paragraph. And then after that paragraph gave me like a whole suggestions what it will do instead. And so I just ended up I just made my own meme instead.
There was a developer of one of the Linux distros, I think it was, bringing up the whole point that the argument is for a lot of this is to protect the children. And his argument is that it stifles younger kids from experience technology and learning, because a lot of the coders that are doing this stuff learned at young ages. Mm-hmm. A lot of the program writers that are out there right now learned at young ages. And he points out that, I can't believe I'm going this way. To put it in a Jurassic Park, life finds a way. Children find a way around it and find the loophole, especially because the younger ones are getting more used to technology and finding workarounds. Yeah. So one of the workarounds was image creation. They wanted to meme and make a joke to family members. And they took a picture of some of these and said, add the Ayatollah, because they were going to say, hey, we met some new friends. And they wanted to add the Ayatollah to the picture. The system wouldn't let it do it. So what they do, they took a picture of the people and took a picture of the Ayatollah that was already in existence and said, add these people to the photo. And guess what? It allowed it to happen.
Yep.
Well, have you guys familiar with Nightshade? And there's another program, I forgot its name. No. So basically, you know how there's a lot of artists that are anti-AI. So basically what these is, so if you're going to put your art piece online, whatever it is, whether it's digital or, sorry, I have kittens in the background, but whether it's digital or like physical painting, if you're going to put it online, so what Nightshade and the other one's like another glazing effect where it puts some artifacts in your picture or your art piece in there. So then when it does get scanned with AI, and you're going to train it off of your own artwork, but it's kind of like poisoning it at the same time. So if anyone wants to generate artwork in your style or whatever, it just totally messes up the system. So I think, I do think there's going to be a balance So honestly, I don't think AI should be regulated. But I think
No.
there is a need where people are going to be like, okay, well, how can I fight back on AI? And so you're going to have these different groups of people coming up with different solutions to like kind of poison the well a little bit. So AI is like this whole masterful. So I think it's eventually it's going to like be a balanced playing field in the near future. So I don't think it's like an ultimate takeover where it's going to take people's job. I mean, you still need people for certain things.
Attention all, paging John Connor. John Connor, you're up. Well, the thing about it, and that's the other thing too, is that, yeah, you do have the extremists, and I am a little black-pilled a little bit with the direction we are going with AI. It's not mature enough, but yet we're turning more and more things over to it too early.
Yeah.
It's being forced too fast, and that's why I'm more into saying Terminator may be our future with this because of how we are handling AI right now. That's where I come into to that side of it. However, do I think of AI should be more like, let's use Star Trek as the example, a smarter computer that has the tools that can look up this stuff, but it still needs the human element to function. It still needs the human element to run it overall. We right now are doing what? We're turning our entire lives over from jobs to actual creation of art, doing all this stuff. Now, you brought up Vagabond when it came to art. The problem is these music generation systems that are out right now. Guess who's making deals with these AI music generator companies? The record companies.
Yeah.
And
I see that.
in turn, what are they doing? They're handing over their entire music catalog of artists to train it. Artists are getting pissed off right now going, I never approved this. I don't sign off on this. That's my
most
voice.
Of them most of them don't actually own their own shit.
That's the other problem, is that they don't own their stuff, so they have no say.
Yep. I mean, it was one of the big things with like Dolly Parton was like, she fought and she lost a whole lot of shit to get all of her rights back. There have been other artists that have done the same, but it takes a fucking fight, and you've got to be willing to like sacrifice a lot, because the record companies are fucking evil. They've got these insane ironclad contracts.
Well, also to that point, I did see like a month or so ago, another guy made his own type of program when it came to like music to kind of poison the well of like all the music. So I think it is going to be a balancing act when it comes to stuff like that, where there's going to be people trying to find solutions for artists to be like, hey, yeah, I don't want my stuff trained off of AI or whatever, so I could input one of my songs with this poison stuff in there that only computers can actually pick up. A regular person hearing it's going to be just fine, and it poisons the rest of the system for that. But so I think the problem we're mainly seeing, or that I mainly see, is that they're putting AI in pointless stuff, or even having things constantly online. Like, you don't need an AI refrigerator, you know, or refrigerator.
Well, it was. Do you remember the old joke about Bluetooth? How they were putting Bluetooth in everything? Now they're doing it with AI. They're putting AI in everything. You want to buy a toaster? Guess what? It has an AI processor in your toaster now.
Well, that's ridiculous. But the thing about the fridge actually is, one of the fun tricks my mom actually does when she's teaching her class is she's like, you can take your phone, take a picture, open your fridge, take a picture of your fridge, and then you can ask AI, what can I make with the ingredients that are in my fridge? And it'll come up with recipes and all sorts of shit.
That's fine and all. It's with the fact that it's being embedded into the actual fridge itself. That's the problem with screens. And guess what? The Samsung people that have bought these Samsung fridges have found out. It's an advertising delivery system, and they're constantly being bombarded with advertising now on their Samsung smartphone fridges. Yeah. Because it's a screen that they can deliver advertising. You buy a certain product, your fridge realizes you always buy this product, hey, a competitor wants to push their product, but it sees that you buy and a competitor. Now you have an advertisement for a competitor for that item.
Imagine taking yourself out because your fridge won't stop talking to you.
Or like, I'm pretty soon. I'm imagining AI toilets. Like you think you just bought a Japanese toilet, but now the toilet knows is scanning your excrement and being like, oh well, I think you need to eat less corn or something.
That already exists. It
Mr.
already
Nate.
exists, Dragon. It
Mr.
will
Nate.
analyze your urine and tell you if you're missing electrolytes or if you're obviously missing any particular vitamins or minerals. They can tell.
It starts telling
real
you that
quickly.
it starts telling you need more fiber in your diet.
Yeah.
So real quickly, Thanos Jerry, thank you for the $1 Rumble rant. To see her in all full fury, the tornado nature's dark side beauty, the dance with death begins with this lady to be, brings the thrill seekers out of me. With heart beating in pace, now begins the storm chase.
That's actually very nice.
Nice.
And thank you again for the Rumble rant.
Jerry
brings this up, and it you want to know what, Jerry, with your I think I've discussed this before with you, or we've kind of talked about it, is that I actually spent all of Friday watching storm tracking information about the storms that were going through Nebraska and stuff, and watching the storm chasers actually showing the tornadoes as they were forming, because they had storm chasers that they were going to. The channel to watch for that type of stuff is called Max Velocity. That's actually a good weather. He does daily weather reports. He's he's an actual meteorologist, but he does this and stuff like that. When it comes to big storms, he stays live for hours with using his network of storm chasers and bringing their videos up of what they're seeing and stuff. Pretty good network.
Yeah. I used to be a partial storm chaser.
You know, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a storm chaser. Like
full
on wanted that to be like my career.
Well, I used to work a tree service, and so we were always looking at the weather and like hoping tornadoes and stuff would hit, because then that's where the big money is. Like you do like small little projects to get you throughout the year, and like a hurricane or something hits, and you're like, yes, there's trees on people's houses, and they got insurance money, and they can't just go say no. You just drive to whatever area got hit. I know it sounds bad, but yeah. So it's like...
No, I had thought about it when I was younger too, of doing storm chasing, but never ended up getting into it. Now, when I was in the Navy, I was looking at kind of changing my job from being a sonar tech on a submarine. I wanted to expand and learn some other things, and actually was going to start, before I ended up getting out, I actually was going for meteorology, because it's actually a job in there. So you would be on a surface ship, and you would be doing that stuff for deployments and stuff like that, plus being all this stuff. So I started actually looking through the books and stuff like that, and started getting ready to possibly change my MOS. So that's something that I had looked into to thinking about doing, because yes, I sat there and watched for, I would say, 6 hours, Max Velocity's channel, just watching the storm chasers and stuff with the tornadoes that were happening, looking at everything. And it's like, yeah, because I mean, I find that stuff really fascinating.
Hey, I hate to take off, but I'm sorry, I'm fading over here. I'm sorry.
All right.
Don't worry.
No, not at all. Do you want to promote anything before you take off?
Yeah, sure. You can find me at Full Metal Nate on YouTube as well as X. Just follow me over there. I'm currently making my way through Resident Evil Requiem. I think I've got maybe 2 more streams left for that game, and then I think it's done until they come out with some DLC or something like that. They always come out with DLC for these Resident Evil games. Obviously, I want to get back to doing Curse of Strahd. We haven't done it in probably about maybe a month, but just kind of shaking things up a bit, trying to figure out how to, go forward with the players that I do have left. But doesn't mean we're gonna stop. Still want to do it, so just kind of keep an eye out for that stuff, and we will get back to it when we get back to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it.
It's a very good DM.
Well, thank you for joining, and you have a good night, Nate.
Yeah. Sorry I couldn't stay long.
Nate.
No worries,
that's
babe.
all right.
Go get some sleep.
All right. We'll catch you guys later.
Yep.
Night.
All right. Good night.
And since we're talking about AI and we're talking about this stuff real quickly, we're going to do a little bit of corrupt data, lost data, sensitive data, historical data, questionable data, suspicious data, biological data, and hard data.
I love the next generation.
I've always thought one of the funniest interactions ever was when Data met Tasha Yar's sister.
Oh,
I was told my sister had a relationship with you.
The fun thing is watching it again and then watching Commander Riker just sit in chairs.
Oh yes, the way he had just always sat in the
I-
chairs, like the leg over, because he's just so tall. And Picard, the way he always pulls down his
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Picard tug, the
Picard tug,
Picard
which became
the
part of
maneuver.
it became so much part of the character, and the whole reason was just the whole first season his fucking costume didn't fit right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it kept riding up on him when it was the one piece suit. So
Yep.
pulling it down because riding up.
Mm-hmm. But it became,
And granted-
it looks so much like now I'm serious.
Yeah.
That's how you know Picard's getting serious because he's done the tug.
Well, see, well, I because I like Next Generation's my favorite because because even when they talk about it, it's like I mean I don't know where I don't mean to turn it to Star Trek stream.
Oh no, it's fine. You're talking to a bunch of Star Trek nerds. We can talk
Right,
about
right.
this.
Yeah, but like
it's
how
free for all, so we can say anything we want.
Yep.
yeah, but
Well,
the way they run
don't
the ship
get the
like a
channel
ship on
canceled.
the water, yeah, the way they like the like a ship on water and everything. That's also my other favorite part. Like growing up, like going like Star of India and all those things or whatever. So that's why I like Next Generation is like my favorite.
I still think I think the original series is still my absolute favorite. If I had to choose only one, I'd ever watch again. But I do love Next Generation, and I grew up with Next Generation. That's what I watched as a kid.
If I had to pick one and only one, for me it's Deep Space Nine.
I knew you were going to say that.
Like I used to know one of the writers, but he won't talk to me anymore.
What did you do?
That's too bad.
Can you say TDS? So-
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a problem, especially with Hollywood.
So Mr. Scott Awesome brings up something about Next Generation.
Oh,
Yep.
man.
Yep.
And warpism.
Because they had to make it even, because all of those women in the original series were forced into the miniskirts, which of course they were not. They actually chose the miniskirts. But they
Not
were
to
forced
mention
into
that
miniskirts.
was the style of the time.
Yep. But because they were forced into it, we had to have men wearing miniskirts as well, just to make it even, which never made any sense to me at all. Not to mention, I'm sorry, I always wonder about the miniskirts. Like, how warm was that ship? Because I think that you'd be kind of cold. Just saying.
What you said? How warm was the ship?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would imagine there is a big heater at the center of the ship. I'm sure that warp core put off some heat.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. If you're asking like acting wise, I know those a lot of them lights back in the day were like super hot.
Oh yeah. No. I meant like as if the ship was real and whatever. Just
Oh yeah.
the men's uniforms versus the women's uniforms. If the temperature on the ship was very comfortable for the men, it would be too cold for the women. If it was very comfortable for the women, it'd be too hot for the men in the uniforms they were wearing. That was my point.
I am glad overall they kind of just got rid of it altogether and just kind of went to very similar for men and women. Granted, men got the 2-piece, women still were stuck with the 1-piece. But coming in real quick from Jerry, another Rumble rant. Thank you very much. Been a Trekkie since 1980. Vagabond, age 6. Love the Borg. Voyager is my favorite show. It
Nice.
seems to be kind of all across. Everyone's loves a different one of the iterations of Trek. And in all actuality, too, I understand it broke some of the lore. I understand what they were trying to do, but I think Enterprise gets a bad rap. I don't think Enterprise was that bad. I see what they were trying to do. I do think they did kind of make some flubs, but overall, I kind of liked it.
I enjoyed it. I really did. I enjoyed it.
Well, nothing can be as bad as what we get now. So-
Yeah.
Nothing. But it was funny when I first saw Enterprise, I was just like gobsmacked by the opening song, because it's not just music, it's a song. And when I first heard it, I was like, this is wrong. Star Trek doesn't have opening music like this. By like season 2, I was singing the song.
Oh, I'm one of
I
those.
love this song.
Space,
Been a
the final
long
frontier.
road.
So,
And
the
I
new
love,
one.
and I love the opening, because I love them showing the history of technology, and then they add Cochrane in just like it's a complete continuation from.
Oh, for the dark one.
Yeah. You get aeronautics, and then you get NASA, and then NASA goes into Cochrane, which goes into. It's so great, and they did get to give us a little bit more of the. How did everything get created? We only see it after it's done.
Yeah.
And the idea that, I mean, in the books and in certain other lore, there was information that the Vulcans and the humans had been allies, but hadn't always gotten along all that well. But we never really got to see any of that. Except, I mean, we saw Spock being conflicted, but that was it. Finding out that the Vulcans were upset because we went from first warp to warp 5 in 100 years. Like, no, you're moving too fast. No, you need to slow down. No, you're too emotional. It was like that was really kind of cool to see how that all worked out.
At least Mr. Scott Awesome continued the lyrics after what I had said.
No, my favorite song is the movie where they're chasing Data, and there's like, come on, Worf, it's HMS Pinafore.
Pirates of Penzance.
The thing is that it had a rocky start and stuff like that, but it was starting to get its feet. The thing is when you actually learn what actually canceled it, it wasn't really because of ratings. It wasn't because of anything else. It had to do with their CEO at the time killing off everything to move to streaming.
Oh shit!
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. Start moving and shutting things down and start prepping to make a streaming platform. So it wasn't even in the works yet. It was just being thought of, and to trim the budget and everything else. That was part of what ended up killing it at the end of the 4th season.
When it was getting really good.
When it was actually starting to get good. Now, of the final 2
there's
episodes.
only one. That other episode doesn't
final
exist.
episode, the actual final episode that they did shouldn't have existed.
It broke everything. Just that episode does not exist to me. It was so badly done. It broke so much of the lore. And then
Killing
it's
Trip.
like we're going to give you this really shitty ending episode, but we're going to bring back characters from Next Generation so that it makes you feel like it's gone full circle or something. Actually, my favorite. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say what didn't happen. The thing is that the person that wasn't in charge of the 4th season came back in and was involved in the finale. And that's the things that he did. It wasn't the showrunner of the 4th season.
That at least makes some sense, because I could never figure out where the fuck that came from. It came out of nowhere. It didn't match anything else from the season.
Yeah, it feels so off because Day does this huge time jump For one thing, Riker and Troy are suddenly in it. It's jammed in the middle of the Pegasus episode. And on top of that, it doesn't even work because Picard forced the information out of Riker. Riker didn't willingly give the information. So that even breaks things.
Yes. It's insane. None of it makes any sense. And it's unbelievably jarring. And it was just stupid.
So got another one. Thank you again, Jerry. A Rumble Ramp for $1 said, in my Star Trek collection, I have the 1967 or 68 board game of the original series
so
intact with all the pieces and the rare book, The Making of Star Trek.
Nice.
That is so cool. Keep it in very good condition.
They're going to need it to be able to reconstruct what Star Trek was.
Very possibly. But what I was going to say was, because I made the comment about Whole Circle, one of my favorite episodes of all time is the Deep Space Nine episode where they go back in time to the Trouble with Tribbles episode. Because and then in Enterprise, they have the whole thing with the disease for the Klingons, so that when they get, oh my God, there's Klingons everywhere. Where? I don't see any Klingons. Worf, what's going on? We do not talk of it.
We do not discuss this with outsiders.
Yes. And I was like, you get every single piece now makes sense. Every single little piece comes together and makes sense, and it makes all of the original series having so many Klingons that don't have facial ridges. That's fine. 20% of the population lost them because of the disease that came from trying to create super soldiers.
And the reason why, and the explanation too, is why you didn't see the ones with ridges in the original series is that because the highborn were the ones that ended up being affected, and those were the ones that were the captains, and the ones on the ship, your average citizen, were less affected. So it was already still there. But how many times did they ever go to Kronos? Never.
Ever.
So they wouldn't have known that. They wouldn't have seen it. So they did a good job. Yeah, the Deep Space Nine crossover with the original series, well done. Yeah, there's a little tweaking that could have happened, but using the technology at the time, they integrated fairly well. I mean, putting Chief O'Brien and Bashir in front of Kirk. Yeah. Granted, some shading issue, a little bit, I will give you that. But for 97. Yep, because the first episode was 1967. So in 97, I mean, worked. I mean, for the quality on a TV budget, pretty good.
I thought it was pretty damn impressive. It felt almost seamless to me. And I just also the being in the line when Kirk's calling them all out for the fight with the Klingons in the bar, and they're just like, I love it.
Yeah, I had when I was at the Art Institute, I had one of my teachers. He worked in every Star Trek game, and he looks like he would be a person that would be into Star Trek, and sounds like he would, like the stereotypical person. But he hated Star Trek. But he's worked on like every game that came out, and every Deer Hunter game too.
You want to know what? I loved the computer games of the 90s. I had so many of them, and I kick myself that I no longer have them.
See, the last physical PC game I bought was, I think, Bridge Crew. But at the time, I didn't have any friends to play with or whatever. But yeah.
Oh,
but
yeah. The one of my favorites was like the Command and Conquer StarCraft type one, where you build your space station, you build your ships and stuff like that, and you're doing missions and stuff like that. Or you could play against AI and stuff like that. It's like that, building your own fleet and doing that stuff. Or, I mean, I do have the original PC, but I got that from Steam of the original games.
Did you guys like the modern movies that came out
No.
whatever.
In my personal
Okay.
opinion, Trek died in 2009.
Okay, I agree with you because I had a friend who would just put on those movies all the time. I'm like, this whole thing is just trash, and so I was like, I mean, I like. It's partially one of the reasons why I do not watch any modern. Like everyone's like, even when people like hate watch stuff, or like all the Marvel and DC movies or whatever, I moved on. So,
Yeah, I've tried watching. I can't. I get so angry. I get so frustrated. And then with me personally, if my anger gets to a certain point, I get an adrenaline dump and then my pain spikes. So I literally can't watch them. They literally physically hurt me
yeah.
to watch how bad it is. I mean, especially 2009. I like Chris Pine. I think he's a really good actor. But what they did to the character of Kirk was so atrocious. So egregious. Yeah. He was James Tiberius Kirk. They used to say, watch out for T.A. Kirk because he will get you on all of the stuff. They talked about him being a walking stack of books with legs when he was at the academy. He was always studying, always learning.
Because they took the Kirk from the future, the older one, and put all of those things into the younger version. That's the one thing too. Between Kirk and Picard, they were polar opposites.
Yep.
In the Academy, Picard was more Kirk in the 09 movie.
Yep. Yeah, he was the one dating the girls and sleeping around and being a bit of a hothead and got himself stabbed right through the fucking heart day after fucking graduation.
The episode Tapestry.
So
yep.
What I think it is, not just Star Trek, is even around that time, it was any like white male leading role had to be like a bubbling buffoon or something like that.
Or an asshole.
Yeah. So even like the newer Scooby-Doos, where that's where they were making Fred to seem like a bumbling idiot the whole time. Where so even though I did laugh at some of them where they're okay, Fred's trying to learn different languages, but anytime he tries to speak to people, he's saying something that's not what he's meant to say. But like if he say there was a movie where he's trying to speak Spanish and he's asking for directions, and but he's saying something completely out the wild or whatever. So that, and there was a bunch of other shows too. Any leading male white character just had to be like dumb and retarded or whatever.
I mean, the idea of the original Kobayashi Maru, where he didn't fucking put a virus in. He had taken the test multiple times, and his friends everyone knows you can't beat the test. And what he did, the only thing he did was, after all of his research, all of his learning, he knew that Klingons respect battle prowess. Klingons respect reputation. And so all he did was say, put a little thing into the program that said, James Tiberius Kirk will be a name that Klingons would know. That's all he put in. And then he convinced everyone to get back and like work hard. Come on, we can do this. If we do this together, we can really do this. And he actually beats it. And it was amazing and beautiful because he understood the enemy, because he inspired his friends who were the crew for the test. All of that was beautiful and amazing. Fucking the Chris Pine version, he puts a virus in the thing and sits there and eats an apple like an asshole. I'm sorry, there was no Kirk in there. There was no Kirk at all. I don't even think Picard would have been that fucking obnoxious.
Right.
That's
the thing. A lot of these are just they're pet projects for a lot of these directors, and they're like the most recent example is the Joker film, Joker 1 and 2, right? Where they, right?
It had nothing to do with the actual Joker.
So,
right.
Real quickly, Vagabond, joining for the first time, Jerry.
Hey,
Jerry.
Live long and prosper.
Peace, long life. You have to forgive my appearance, but I'm missing one tooth.
Yeah, you're jumping on.
Oh, no worries.
Oh. Okay, so here's the question. People can do this, but can you do it on both?
Hold on.
Oh, you got to put... There you go. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, see, my tablet blew up, so I got to do everything on a cell phone.
Oh, no worries.
That sucks. I'm sorry.
That's life.
At least you can make your cell phone do it. I've never been able to get my cell phone to get on StreamYards and let me actually interact. So I'm impressed.
Yeah, because I mean, I do my own pro wrestling podcast on YouTube. I have to use the phone.
Oh, nice.
In fact, I'm supposed to be doing the show today, but I decided to take a day off.
Everyone deserves a break.
But no, Tiny, where you were saying too with, again, they did with the 09 really kind of swap the personalities of what Picard was when he was younger into Kirk, which that's not Kirk when he was younger.
No.
He was by the book, constantly studying. Yep. Not sleeping around with all the aliens, because that didn't happen until he was captain.
Also, would someone tell me how the hell there was a fucking Orion at the academy? The men would all be losing their shit, and the women would all have migraines. How the fuck is there an Orion at Starfleet Academy? I mean, if they'd given her like a collar or something, like there was some obvious piece of tech on her that we could say it somehow like deadens her pheromones or whatever. That might
was it James Gunn that made this or who was it?
No, it seems like it, but no, it was a J.J. Abrams.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it was
I was mixing the two up. Yeah, J.J. Abrams.
They're both obnoxious.
I don't like either of them. And then they keep failing upwards. That's the other problem.
That drives me nuts. You fuck up, you piss off the fans, especially you fuck up, you piss off the fans, and you lose money. You should lose your job, not get another fucking series.
Well, it's what we brought up on Cavecast this morning on Sammy 3Pete's channel. Shout out to Sammy. We need to talk about gun control.
Yeah. Okay. Example, Peacemaker, right? Do not read the comics because we're not going to follow those at all.
Yeah. But you can tell when it comes to the Star Trek, new track, modern track, whatever you want to call it, you can definitely tell it's made by people that have no fucking clue what Star Trek is.
Yeah.
Oh, man. The gay Cleon and the that is just I wanted to join the clan as soon as I even heard the concept.
I'm sorry. There is nothing, as far as I can tell, there's not one single second of Starfleet Academy that has any relationship to actual Trek. Nothing.
I'll never watch it.
And I'll be honest, the stupid gag with the fish dude, I actually would have been okay with that. Like they could have pulled that off on Next Generation. Some guy that if you feed him the wrong shit, he pukes sparkles. That would have been kind of funny if you had everything else around it that actually was legit. But no.
The only Starfleet Academy that I care about and enjoyed was the game. I played that entire game. That was another one of the computer games that I actually had.
There was a Starfleet Academy video game?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Starring Kirk, William Shatner, Chekhov was in it as well.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of William Shatner, a fun fact, he has trouble doing this. Yeah, he actually had to have his hands taped in this position.
Yeah.
Yep.
He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it on his own.
Not T'Pring was the matriarch. T'Pau. If you actually look, they kind of glued her fingers together to do it to to Nimoy, because she couldn't do it either.
Because see, for me, my dad took me on my birthday to see the slow motion picture in 1980. That's where it started for me.
Well, my uncle was a huge Trekkie and a nerd of a lot of different things, and he had, I hate that we don't have them anymore, but he had actual blueprints for multiple ships all the
Oh,
information on the shuttles, all of it.
nice.
And he was the type of person who I would watch it, and then he'd come on with like, so what do you think the episode is like? We talk about it. We talk about the philosophy. We talk about the idea of ethics or what was going on, and it was just like, it was so much more than what they've made it and what they seem to understand it.
I think
it was mythos. It was mythology for the modern age. It was our version of Hercules and the things that tell us how we're supposed to fucking live, what we're supposed to be trying to get to.
I believe for my the Christmas in 1990, I believe one of the gifts that I got from my parents was the Next Generation technical manual.
Nice.
I have that.
Yep. Along with some paperbacks.
Nice.
So
yeah. The board game I bought was from a thrift store in the big city that's right up the road from me. I saw that and I was like, oh, it can't be. And I checked it out, I opened it up, all the pieces is in there, all the instructions.
Wow.
And it only cost me $30.
Oh,
damn. Nice.
And it's sitting right over here on the bookshelf.
Nice. And that's the thing about it too. You hear all the arguments and stuff of the Star Trek nerds hate the Star Wars fans and the other stuff. It's like, well, no, there's a difference. It's because that's not true. Because I enjoy Star Wars.
Yeah.
But again, that's science fantasy. Star Trek is science fiction. They are two different genres that are getting lumped together.
Yeah. And really, George Lucas actually has a hand in helping out Star Trek. Because when Gene Roddenberry was trying to make the movie, they decided, no, we want to do a TV show instead. And he's a TV writer, so it worked out better. Then when George Lucas brought out Star Wars, Paramount's like, oh, we got to do the movie. So then we got the motion picture, or as a lot of people call it, the slow motion picture. I mean, I like it, but I like the extended version better. It makes better sense.
It makes better sense, but you can see the thing is that people call it that and stuff like that. But if you look at what other movie was out that it was kind of similar to, which was 2001: Space Odyssey, it had those same type of elements. The uniforms were because of that. The aesthetic of the bridge and the colors being used was because of 2001: Space Odyssey. That kind of drove a little of the inspiration of what they were doing for it. But I like what Nicholas Meyer and Harv Bennett did when it came to Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
I love that.
I think it grounded it a little bit more in reality, and the whole point of certainly even like signs that are up, no smoking on the bridge in the trainer in at the academy. Okay, so in the intro to Wrath of Khan, gets done with the intros, before it goes into the very first scene, what is the line that is just printed up on the screen?
I don't remember.
In the 23rd century.
Yes.
You want to know why that was put into the movie?
Mm-mm.
It's so Nicholas Meyer's wife understood it was the future.
Yep.
That's why.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other thing too, go and watch. You can definitely tell the person that did the music for Wrath of Khan and Search for Spock. It's the same one that did the Alien soundtrack. Because if you listen to the Alien soundtrack, you hear a lot of the same not the same, but very similar cueing sound that was in Wrath of Khan.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense, actually, yeah.
Because I bawled my eyes out when Spock died. The first time I saw Wrath of Khan.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was
And unfortunately, it had leaked out prior to.
Yeah.
That was going to happen.
And that's what led Meyer to do the little simulation to draw the crowd in. And then, boom, later hit him with the actual death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Putting the death scene at the beginning was so that people would then go, "Oh, that was the leak. That was his death."
Yeah. Yep.
Disarmed them. Got
And
to
then
the
it hit
movie,
them twice
and
as
then
hard
you
when
get
it
hit.
actually happened. Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, them trying to redo that with the J.J. Abrams version where they had
the darkness.
Fox screaming. The fuck?
You're
It
gonna
makes no
hate me,
sense.
Tiny, but I actually kind of like the second of the new Star Trek movies. I like that one a little bit. So please,
I honestly
don't hit me. Don't hit me.
I couldn't get through it, so I don't know. Maybe it isn't as bad, but I just I tried to watch some of it, and I was just like, it just seeing it the way it is. It just brought me all back to the 2009 one, and I just couldn't get through even watching it.
I didn't mind that one, but you do have excellent points about the way they made Kirk. Because I thought Zachary, I say his last name, Quanto.
Yeah.
I thought he was an excellent Spock. My opinion.
He's not a bad Spock. He's better than anything they went. Discovery.
They in the JJ track, the Kelvin timeline, they let Spock feed more into his human half than his Vulcan half, and you could see that going back to his acceptance to the Vulcan Academy, of him rejecting it in the long run.
Yeah. I just, but the whole thing was Spock was, our Spock, my Spock, was obsessed with controlling that side. He was obsessed with being as Vulcan as possible.
Yeah.
So when I see him not being as Vulcan as possible, leaning into his more human side, he doesn't feel like my Spock.
Well, I can understand that. I get that. I'm a fan of.
I had a crush on Leonard Nimoy.
Show of hands, who's shocked? That's what I thought.
Well, I mean, I always thought Kirstie Alley was hot. So, I was a young kid.
Let's go into the theory and that you wish. Do you think this is actually something they should have actually tackled? And it would have made logical sense. Saavik had Spock's child.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the theory. Ponfar on the Genesis planet resulted in her getting pregnant. She stayed behind and didn't go back. She stayed on Vulcan with Spock's parents.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever heard. No, that's really interesting.
Oh, yeah, and what they should have done for Undiscovered Country, the blonde Vulcan that was the traitor, that should have been Spock's daughter. That would have probably had a little more emotional punch.
Is the timing right for that, though?
I don't think the timing would have been right. I think she would have been still too young.
That's true.
That's true. I would get you. It would have a very huge impact. Of that, but I think age-wise, timing wouldn't have been. Timing would have been off.
That's true.
Would have been way too young.
Yeah.
I could see her entering the academy at that time, but not already being on
an officer.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people gave Nimoy hell for what they call the Vulcan mind rape. When he's trying to force the information out of her, and he said, "Hey, Vulcans can be cruel if they have to be. After all, they don't show much emotion."
Yeah,
they don't show emotion because they repress and hold back their true animalistic nature.
That
was brought out through the religion of
logic.
Who is their philosopher?
Serac. But the whole thing is, it's like that was one of the things that bothered me about Spock ever leaning into his human side. Vulcans actually feel much more intensely than we do.
Yeah,
than human. Their emotions are much more uncontrollable, and so they repress them so that they don't act on them at all. But if you're half human and you're leaning into your human side, that would allow your negative Vulcan emotions to overwhelm you.
And you see that happen in Amok Time.
Yep.
And also on Next Generations, what was the episode where Sarek had that mental disorder and he had to
where he was his
borrow
emotions
Picard?
Are you talking
mental
about
stability.
before unification, the one that was right before when Sarah
Yeah.
when
first
Sarek's
appeared?
dying, when he ends up having
Yeah.
to do the mind meld with a Picard.
Picard. Yeah.
Because and Patrick Stewart doing the
did.
emotion.
Shellac disease.
Yeah, something like that. Childhood disease,
Silac.
something like that.
Silac.
Yeah.
But the whole thing, like, what they did with putting Picard locked in his room so that no one would see what was happening, and him absorbing all of the shit coming from Sarah, was like
He did.
I
He
will
did
be
some
right
great
back.
acting.
and he's crying, and oh my
Yeah.
god, he did such a good
Yeah,
job of showing us the huge turmoil that's inside all Vulcans.
Yeah, he did some great acting. I mean, I
Oh,
saw that live because that was 1990. I was 16 then. And that's when Star Trek really started to hit me. And I'm like, I like this guy.
I mean,
And
it was just,
especially like
it was both really impressive, and it was also just really informative. It truly made you understand. Like, everyone's like, well, Vulcans are just so cold, they don't feel anything. No. They have to learn from a very young age to repress this huge amount of emotion that they could be completely overwhelmed by. That even energetic, emotional, crazy humans don't actually have a clue what it feels like to be a Vulcan. And so,
Exactly.
and so this it gave so much more to the species.
I agree. Now, what was your opinion of Picard, the TV show?
Didn't watch it. I saw the first episode and went, I just can't do this. I just can't do this.
I like it, but it has flaws. I mean, at the end, because I'm a Borg nut, I admit it. Ever since 1989, I got action figures over here on my bookshelf that I've had since 1990. And, when I saw what happened at the end of Picard, it was a little heartbreaking. I don't want to reveal anything and no one's seen it yet. But I did like at the very, very end where they all played, I think it was cards or something at a bar. That was hilarious.
Well, again, this is the difference too, is that the showrunner of Picard no longer had control during the third season and actually brought in a fan to do the third season.
That's why on Next Generation.
Right. That's why the third season actually felt more like Star Trek, what it was.
Yeah.
They brought back all of the old characters.
Yep.
So, yes, while season 1 and season 2 were terrible, again, I still have not seen season 3 because I just can't touch I can't touch Secret Hideout Trek.
I just like I don't think you were up with us, Jerry, but you were probably listening in the chat. Like, I literally can't watch something that's going to make me so angry that I get an adrenaline dump because my medical condition caused me to literally hurt. So I just
like
when I start watching something that makes me get pissed, I'm just like, nah, I can't. I can't.
Well, that's like that new Star Trek.
I'm not into sadomasochism,
Oh, God.
so I'm not going to watch it. I just don't know how Duke Devil does it.
Especially since he stopped drinking.
Yeah.
So did I. Yeah, when I saw the female Jem'Hadar, I'm like, what
oh
the
my God.
fuck
I
is
was
this?
I didn't watch it, but I was screaming since I saw the trailers and the previews. I'm like, you cannot have a female Jem'Hadar. That does not exist. It cannot exist. They are born in little test tubes. They don't have the ability to reproduce. There's only males.
Yeah, I was trying to do my best neurotic impersonation. The fuck is this?
Again, Star Trek written by people that have no idea what Star Trek is and doesn't understand any of the history or the lore behind anything in the show. Because again, the founders were not going to suddenly create female Jem'Hadar.
No.
Even with Odo now in charge of the Great Link, they're still not going to do that.
If Odo was in charge of the Great Link, they'd probably stop making Jem'Hadar.
Yeah.
Because they were slaves that were addicted to the white, the Kestrel
Kestrel White.
Kestrel White. But I mean, even if you're going to tell me that there was a Klingon female who was hardcore enough to take Jem'Hadar to bed, he can't reproduce.
Yeah, they don't have the stuff. Pun intended.
Right.
Exactly. It's just like, it's not only that these people know nothing about Trek. As far as I can tell from everything I've seen of new Trek, like Discovery, Academy, I don't really know Strange New Worlds too much, but dancing, singing Klingons is about as fucked up as I think you can get.
I watched a little bit of that. Now, see, I did like the first couple of seasons of Discovery.
I personally couldn't stand it.
And then it went off the rails.
But for me, what it feels like is these people don't know what a moral lesson is. They don't understand actual ethics.
Yeah.
All of the good that came from Star Trek came from its philosophy, from the lessons it taught. And this is all just bullshit. And it's horrible. Would you ever want anyone, would you want to raise anyone to act like those people? Sorry, I'm sorry. Emerald, I keep.
That's fine.
I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say the only episode of Star Trek Discovery that I watched was the free episode that was on CBS Network. So that was the very first episode of Discovery.
Yeah.
I watched it and immediately was like, I'm done. The reason why, because this is supposed to be taking care. Now, at the time, this was supposed to be prime timeline. This is supposed to be then find out. And on top of that, the technology level, this is supposed to be still before the original series. But yet they had hollow communication. They had all of this better technology. And it's like, I can understand if you want to do it, then it would be a bridge between the original series technology and Enterprise.
Yep.
That's where the technology level should have been, but it had too far advanced for supposedly being in the prime timeline.
Yep.
Now, I got to test your Star Trek knowledge. Sorry, Tiny.
So just real quick. The other thing about that first episode, because I also watched the free episode, which is when I realized I couldn't handle Discovery. I love tardigrades. They tortured one.
Justice for the tardigrades. #
Justice for tardigrades.
Now, did you guys know that Mark Leonard was in the motion picture?
Yes. He was one of the Klingons that was attacking V'ger.
The one that was leading the assault.
The one that was speaking the new language of Klingon. Jerry, who wrote the original Klingon language that Mark Leonard was speaking?
Oh, I used to know this. I forget. Damn. I'm getting old.
Well, speaking of Klingons too.
Oh, Tiny? Okay.
Yes, Tiny has it. Yes, James Doohan.
Yep.
Scotty.
Oh, shoot.
Scotty helped write the Klingon language.
See, I hit 52. I'm getting old.
Well, I guess what I wanted to add too about the new. Well, I'm not going to call it Star Trek. Klingons are not supposed to be representations of black people. I'm sorry.
No, they're not.
It's like
yeah, that too.
Like they
were supposed to be representations of commies.
Yeah.
And like then like they gave him dreads
personally, but still
the fact they gave him dreadlocks and is like, okay, we'll just make them all black. I don't even want to like. It's just it makes no sense.
Oh, that was the other thing about Discovery. The Klingons in Discovery made no fucking sense.
Yeah,
they were the costume, the costume and makeup didn't make sense, and all sorts of other things about them didn't make sense to me. Like I was just like, these aren't actual Klingons.
Now I'm gonna test your Star Trek knowledge. Of all the movies, only one has never been #1. Can you name it?
Only one has not been #1. That'd be Nemesis.
Exactly. It got to be #2 because it had a good opening weekend, but then after that
it fell off. Yep.
Flushed.
Because they were still going to do a 5th movie with the Next Generation crew.
Yep.
Reduced crew because Riker and Troy were off.
Yeah.
Yep. On the
but
Titans.
there was going to be a 5th movie. Yep. But there was going to be a 5th movie with the Next Generation, but Nemesis killed any plans for it. Still made money in the end. It still did not lose money in the end.
Yeah.
I liked it
because I liked it too, actually.
what I was going to say was I'm not its biggest fan, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Because I love the Scimitar. I thought that was a sweet ass ship.
I prefer Nemesis over Insurrection. I'm not a big fan of Insurrection.
Yeah, Insurrection is basically like a 2-hour episode. A lot of people say that.
Yeah.
I even agree.
Well, also Insurrection. I mean, I know that nothing's perfect and no one's all good all the time, but it really showed a darker side of the Federation. Like,
Yeah.
I was not
Mm-hmm.
really happy with that.
Yeah.
We're not
But
supposed to
it
be
did-
the ends justify the means type of people.
But it did stay true. Again, that's where I agree with Jerry that it was more of a 2-hour episode.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
because if you look at the Next Generation show, who were normally the bad guys of the Federation when it came to orders and things? It was the Admiralty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because they think they know it all.
Now, granted, what really killed it too, again, not understanding what Star Trek is the secret organization of Section 31 brought in during Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
The way it was used in Deep Space Nine worked perfectly, I think was good.
Excellent.
The way they brought it a little bit into Enterprise makes sense with using Malcolm as he had been a previous agent within Section 31. Makes sense of his background, his military upbringing. So it would make sense that he would have been a recruit into Section 31. But what they ended up doing with New Trek, and it's supposed to be clandestine. People aren't supposed to know about
Almost
all
no
of
one is
this.
supposed to know they exist. Almost no one.
And anyone that knows about it comes back and says, we don't even know. We'll look into it.
Yeah.
But then they turn around and they got Section 31 has their own ships. It's like, you guys don't understand it. They're not the Obsidian Order. They're not the Tel Shiar.
That's what they tried to make them. They tried to make them
That's
the
what-
Obsidian Order or the Tel Shiar. Exactly.
Yeah, just more secretive.
I agree. There was one thing from New Trek that I actually respected. Because a friend of mine told me to watch the episode. I watched one more episode of Discovery, I think it was. When Captain Pike has to go get some crystal thing from the Klingons or something, and he touches it, and he sees his future. He knows that he's going to end in the chair, totally mangled, totally destroyed, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the Klingon priest says, if you leave the crystal, it won't happen. But if you take the crystal, it will. And Pike sits there and he thinks about it for a minute, and then he picks up the crystal and he goes. That was Captain fucking Pike to me. That was Trek right there. That was, I've been informed something horrible will happen, and basically I'm sacrificing my future, but I need to do it anyway because that's what needs to be done. That was Trek to me. I saw that one episode and that one thing with Pike. I was like, that was fucking amazing.
Mr. Scott Awesome says Nemesis had more potential. It didn't reach, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I won't disagree with you. I mean, it had more potential.
Yeah, part of the problem was they tried to put a little bit of Star
director.
Wars into it.
They put a little too much Star Wars into it, but also had a director that had no clue about Star Trek.
Yeah, absolutely none.
Yep.
Now, I did like the Remans. I thought they were neat.
They were an interesting ad, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But what's his name is Shinzon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really did kind of play with the lore a little too
Tom
much.
Hardy
with
did a
having
good
Tom
game,
Hardy.
but
Yeah. Not exactly a young Picard.
No.
yeah, no, like that.
I will mean nothing as long as you're still alive.
I mean, he had some good phrases. But
I feel like when he says that, someone should say, you need to go talk to Riker about his twin.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you
Well,
live
the
in
thing
the
is
same
though,
universe with someone who looks like you?
but again, the difference is Thomas actually still had a natural progression of life, Thomas Riker, unlike Shinzon, which he was going to die if that the blood transfusion did not occur from the original host.
That's true. That's
So
true.
yeah, there's
But it was just
that
like, I
difference.
just remember I remember seeing the scene, and the first thing I thought of was Riker and was Thomas. Like I was just like,
And then they turned around and made Thomas a Maquis.
yep.
That's
I
like
I didn't like the idea of him as a Maquis, but when I thought about it, I thought it sort of made some sense after all those years alone and no longer believing in the Federation the way he did, no longer believing in
Mhm.
Starfleet the way he did. Him saying, "Okay, this is a moral wrong. I'm gonna stand up for whatever." I sort of could understand. I could understand that.
Well, and the fact that he will always be the shadow of Riker.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what he does, he's always
Yeah.
going to be under Riker's
Yeah.
Riker's shadow. So he's got to make a name for himself, and I think that's what drove him in that direction. More trying to be a martyr, try to be here, almost like an Eddington type character.
Yeah, I can see that. But also I think those 6 years also really made him, he believed they were going to come back. Like, he doesn't know about what happened, so he believed they were going to come back from him, and then they don't. And he really seemed to have lost his faith in the idea of Starfleet and the Federation. Sorry.
my friend does that.
Okay, so this has been a great discussion, which leads me to something that we will talk about backstage of maybe doing a Trek show where we go back all the way to the original series, watch the episode, and we come together and we discuss that episode and do a Trek talk.
I've been doing that with Common Nerd for Firefly. I would love to do that for Trek.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we will discuss backstage a little bit afterward, but we're going to go around the horn. Thank you, Jerry, for joining in on this discussion this
no
evening.
problem. That's what I meant when I sent you that text. I wasn't expecting to be on tonight, but I mean, I'm not going to argue. I'll do any podcast when people need me.
So we are going to go around the horn, and we'll start with Vagabond, since he's muted, to see if he'll unmute.
Okay, my bad.
Where can people find you next, Vagabond?
Tomorrow on my channel, I'm on Rumble, Odyssey, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or whatever platform you like. I will be streaming I Swear It's Not Hentai episode 28, and tomorrow we have the Drink Up crew, and Tiny will be there, and we have a special episode where I made everyone watch an anime called Akiba Maid Wars. It's a mob story where but with maid cafes in the Akiba Strip, and our main heroines actually owe some money, and they go through a lot of shenanigans.
It's interesting.
Jerry,
it's a lot better than what I had to watch for last week.
Jerry, is there anything you would like to promote?
Let's see. Usually on Fridays, right around 6, 7, or 8 o'clock at night, I co-host a pro wrestling podcast called Irish Whips and Arm Drags. So if you love professional wrestling, which I've watched for 42 years now, straight through, that's usually where you'll find me. Or sometimes you'll find me in other people's live streams. Just depends on what show is on.
All right.
That's pretty much it. I mean,
all right. Tiny, where can people find you next?
Tomorrow, I will be on Vagabond Show for I Swear It's Not Hentai. On Tuesday, I will be back here on Drunken Emerald Arrow's channel for Nerds Covering the News. And on
my favorite.
Thursday, I will be on Common Nerds channel for Firefly. And I believe it is the last episode of the series. And we all, it's Common Nerds, Sunker, Mated, Griffin, and myself. And we are all major Firefly fans. And so is most of our chat. So we talk about it a lot. Watching one episode takes 3 hours. I'm just warning people ahead of time. Because I invited some people to watch, and they got very mad at me for how long it took us to get through one episode talking about everything. But it's a lot of fun. If you love Firefly, you'll enjoy it. And I believe the week after, we're going to do Serenity. We're actually going to get to watch the movie. Other than that, I will be back here next Saturday.
All right. Well, I am the host of Insert Title here, Drunken Emerald Arrow. Coming up on Tuesday, 6 p.m. PST on this channel is Nerds Covering the News. Then on Thursday at 6 p.m. PST is All the Good Titles Were Taken. And then back here on Saturday at 7 p.m. PST for the next episode of Insert Title here. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and follow button, depending on where you are watching from. Trying to get those numbers up. You want to know what? I'm getting closer and closer, a little bit every day, and it's looking good. And then, in addition to that, you will be able to find everyone's links in the description for the show. Jerry, I'm going to need some of your information there so that I can put you into the show chat. I mean,
one thing I'm not good
well.
at sending out links. I'm not quite that techie.
Other than that, everyone, you can have a great rest of the weekend. Have a great, safe weekend. Have a good night, and we will see you next time on the next episode of Insert Title here. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.